Hi, my name is Alessandro Gangelosi and that's a video tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for MaxCookie. Today we'll continue to work at the Photoreal interior with V-Ray series, and this time I like to continue to prepare some furniture to have part of the room ready. So we'll move forward to arrive at the final image. And today I like to add some more stuff, and we have to put something there. I like also to check the measure between the little two furniture we just put over the inside the room. So let's use the tape, and we'll see that there we have 2 meters and 20. So that's enough to have a little sofa. So let's zoom in this area. We can move the lamp just a little bit, let's say there, and then we can move this one. Let's go to check also the position for the other one, and the lamp is there, so it's nice. Okay, so let's create something to stay over the little furniture we created there. We can create some abstract and modern stuff, and we can make add in some vase, something not so big. So let's start picking this one with the lamp just to have a measure, and we put maybe some books there and the glass, and then we work on the other one. So let's peek and let's go in isolation. Okay, so let's create the glass. We'll model a really simple shape, so let's use something like that. So it will be a really simple glass. Let's work on those vertices, or maybe we can directly use the shape, and then we work to have the outline. Okay, then we can exit from the outline, and in the vertices let's work to have a fillet, and a fillet also there. Okay, nice. Let's remove the fillet, and we move this one just a little bit. Okay, let's use the lathe minimum, and let's say 40. It seems not bad. Affect pivot to the center, and let's move to the table. Let's call it glass, and we can move over this table there. Let's go in a perspective. Okay, that's a glass, so we can put something inside the glass. So we can maybe just make a clone. So let's go there, clone as a copy, and let's call it liquid. Set to off this one, and we can remove the segments. So we remove there, this one, and this one, and also there and there and there. Okay, this one we can move the vertices, and this will be right mouse button. I have a problem with the mouse. Okay, let's move it manually to use something like that, and let's say that's a corner. Okay, and then we have to close the spline, so we can go there, and we can create something like that. and then in the vertices there we can use the fuse, and there we can fuse too. Zoom, and this one can be there. In there I like to have another vertices there, and move this one just a little bit to simulate the fluids touching the surface. Okay, perfect. Let's see, it's better to use a new lathe. Okay, now it works. And this one again, let's call it liquid, and we can prepare two simple shader. Let's remove this one. This one will be the glasses. We use a V-Ray material, black color, freshener reflection, maximum reflectivity, and the freshener IRR will be 1.5 with just a little bit of reflection glossiness. The refraction will be, let's say, 210, and we'll have maybe 142, and affect shadows. And then let's work on the liquid. So let's remove this one, and let's call it liquid. And again, there we can use a black color, freshen reflectivity, and we can use, an higher IRR. Let's try with 1.6, and just a little bit of reflection glossiness too. The refraction will be higher, let's say 225. Okay, but this one and this one is the glass. Okay, and then there we use a color, so affect shadows, and we'll have a little bit of glossiness, so we try to simulate some kind of liquid there, and we say that the fog color is, let's say, a dark red. And let's say 0.4 or something like that. So let's go on the camera number 3, and hide everything, and I like to render just this piece. So let's go to render, and we need to see just this area, so let's try to have a bigger render. Let's go for a 1012.8. Okay, let's stop, and we render just this area there, and render. Okay, let's try to change some stuff. The first one is there. I like to have more transparency, so let's go for 235 for the glass, and there let's try to have a lower amount for the fog multiplier, and we can render again. Okay, maybe just a little bit less. Let's go for 0.1, and again render. Okay, so we have also this glass there, and that's nice, and I like to create a little book, but before we can create something bigger there, and maybe a vase. So let's pick this one, zoom, and we can create a vase model. We'll try to do something in interesting. So we'll do a simple shape. Let's go for have a curve. Let's make something like that. And then a curve. Okay, so let's move and let's use late just to see how the shape will look with the minimum. Then let's change the vertices there. We can move those vertices because I like to have a less big shape. And then we can do something like that. Okay, we have to still move those vertices. Okay, that's not bad. So let's say that we need obviously to create the spline, and we have to create the outline inside. Okay, then in the vertices there and there, but let's zoom this area. Okay, let's say maybe before just there we use a fillet. Okay, and then just this one, go near, fillet. Okay, perfect. So let's see the entire shape, and we can use the lathe, minimum. Okay, and our line there we can say to be adaptive to have a better interpolation. Let's go in a perspective so we can see just the model, and let's go for an edit poly, and let's check the edges faces. I like to see if we can do something over it on the model. So let's say that this one is a white. So let's create a simple material for this one too. Let's remove this glass from there, and let's call it white base. And we use a V-Ray material, and we go for a white color, and we can go for something reflective, so we go for a freshen reflection, medium reflection. We go for maybe 0.8 for the reflection glossiness. Nice. So just for, a fast preview for this vase, just to be sure that it's going fine, and we make the area there and render. Okay, it seems not bad. Nice. So I like to add a little vase made in the same way, so affect pivot to the center, and we can make a clone. So let's zoom both, and let's say that we have this one there and the little one there. So as a copy, and we scale it, and it can stay on the ground. We have to move this one too. Okay, and again on the second one. Perfect. From the camera, let's see if we have to move it, maybe just a little bit over there, and just a fast preview to see how it is looking now. Okay, nice. Perfect. So we have something over the furniture there we can save. Okay, so now I like to create a little sofa, nothing so complex, but something to be put there. And let's start from there, from the top view. Okay, we'll try to model something there. And we'll try to do it using simple shape. So let's go for a chamfer box. Okay, so this one must be obviously higher. Sorry. Let's say that this one stay a little bit higher over the ground, and then it will be something like that. We do it a little bit more little, let's say 25 centimeters, 60 for the height and 90 for the width. So then the fillet sorry, is nice. Okay, and we can move this one near the furniture. Let's say that we have a little bit of segments if we need to make some changes to the shape. And I like to have a chamfer box down. Okay, we have to put in the right place, and I like to have a really little fillet, let's say it's 0.25, because this one will be a metal box at the bottom, and let's say that it is maybe 5 centimeters. And it is inside okay. Let's zoom there and there. It is obviously bigger, and it is a little bit larger and a little bit longer. And this one is done using a chromic metal, so let's remove this one and we make a chrome sofa outside, and there we have a black color, flash and reflection 18 because it's really reflective, white color for the reflection, but we have a little bit of reflection glossiness, and then we have a little bit of anisotropy. Okay, perfect. So we have this piece, we have this piece too, but then I like to have this one. We can use a 3 FFD. Let's work on the control vertex, and I like to move a little bit. Okay, and there too we can move a little bit. I like to have a more irregular shape. Nice. And also there. Okay, perfect. So obviously we have the same thing on the other part, so we can select both, and from this point of view let's make a mirror as an instance, and we can move it until the other part of the room. Okay, nice. And save. Now we have to create a base there, so we can create another. Let's zoom back. Okay, we can create a base there, so we say something big in the same way, but this time this one will be a little bit less smooth. And let's move it and we'll do it higher. Let's say maybe 30, 20 centimeters, 25. Okay, let's go for 25 centimeters. And then if we need more centimeters, we can play with it. Sorry. This one is down, but we see nothing down the sofa. And then now we need something to be put over. So this one is 180, let's say, and we can do 2 of 90 centimeters. So from this point of view, we go to have again the sample box. I'm not doing nothing so complex because our main purpose is to obtain something realistic in rendering. So it's not so necessary to have a so complex render done using a high modeling. So let's say 60. Okay, and let's say that there the height is 20 centimeters and the fillet is less. So let's start to work just with these pieces. And height. Okay, so let's remove the edges faces. Okay, this time maybe we can just create in this way, and we can decide to have let's see, again with the edges faces. Okay, let's go for the fillet. Okay, and let's use more step. Okay, let's go for perspective and zoom there. And then I like to have maybe a little bit more fillet. Then we can go to have 3 FFD, and we work with a lattice, and we select this part, the top area, and we scale it a little bit. Let's remove the edges faces. So just a little bit. Sorry. Okay, then let's pick this one, and this one. so it will be smoother than the other part. And then we can pick this area and move a little bit on the front. Then let's use an edit poly, and from this point of view we know that this one stays there, and we pick these vertices, and with the soft selection we move it a little bit, okay, and close and move there. Let's use a turbo smooth so I have something smoother, okay, and then we can create a little bit of noise. Okay, this part you see is smoother than the other one. So there, from this point we need a clone, so we make a copy and we can move it so there it can be bigger. Let's say that this one is scaled over one axis just a little bit, and this one too. And then we can change the shape there. The noise can be with a different seed, and we can work on the vertices there. Okay, same thing, sorry, on this one we pick these vertices and we move it, and this part can be moved, and both needs to stay a little bit down. Okay, so now we need something there, so we can create another chamfer, and we have, sorry, okay, then we have to move it. It will stay a little bit up. We need to have this one smooth too. And we make a little bit higher, let's say 50 centimeters. And for the other stuff we can stay with the value we have. Then I like to have more fillet. Okay, then let's start working with a 3FFD. And let's say that there it is. And there we can move it a little bit down. Okay, you see we are approximating the shape with just really simple thing. nothing so complex. Okay. Okay, so let's go for a turbo smooth just to have more polygons to work on, and then let's go with a noise, nothing so complex, just a little bit of perturbance over the surface. Okay, and then we need a clone, and we can go for a copy. Let's move it. Okay, this one can stay there, but let's move there, and let's say that there we have, or maybe up, we have an edit poly. So we can work directly over the mesh. Okay, and we can do the same to the other one. Let's go for an edit poly, and we select the vertices. Let's sorry, and also there we can move a little bit. Okay, nice. So it's not a problem to see more details for the moment. We can go for something really simple. Then we can pick all these pieces, and let's do there another shader. Let's call it sofa, and also this one. Okay, let's exit from the isolation, and let's go in the camera and save, and we can go for something different from the other shader we are doing. So we can do something like that, maybe a little bit of darker color. Okay, then I like to have the freshen reflection, and we can go for 2. I like to have a little bit of reflectivity, but it will be really smooth. Let's go for 16 subdivision, and we'll have a little bit of anisotropy, and let's go for a different color, something like that. Okay, I like to see how it looks, so we can go back to a more little rendering, let's say 700, and back to the window there, and let's say this area, and render. Okay, so we can start to work on the shader. In general, I like to remove a little bit of violet color, so there let's go for less saturation. Same there for the reflection. Okay, and it will be darker and still less saturation, and we'll have, let's say 0.4, so really diffused reflection again. Okay, it is better than before. And I like to have also maybe a bump map, and we can go for a layer done using a noise. So let's go there and let's choose noise. We go for turbulence, and let's go to see a preview. maybe obviously it will be too much because we are not checking the scale and all the other things. So let's go for lower scale, let's say 35, with a higher level, let's say 8. Sorry. Okay, so it will be obviously lower, let's say maybe 10. I like just to have some little perturbation over the surface. It is still too much. Let's go for 4. I think we can go lower, but we can do something better. Let's go to have a composite. Discard, keep hold, and the second one will be a bitmap, and we'll have for sure something there from 3ds Max. Let's see. This one. So you see this map as something similar to maybe the mapping are not so nice, so we can pick there first of all, and let's use 02. Let's use a color correction to have a black and white map, so keep all map. Let's remove the saturation, and we can have more brightness and more contrast. Okay, we can use the same map as reflection, so we'll have more reflectivity in some area and less reflectivity in other area. Okay, but we start to have the necessity to see this one bigger, and we need also a higher quality, so let's go for the anti-alias, and there let's go for 32 and 4. Okay, we have to change the shape there. Let's see if something like that is okay. Okay, so the area will be this one. So you see we have complete visibility over the sofa model. Okay, so I like to have, first of all, let's say that we have no mapping there, and we have this one also for the reflection glossiness, but it will be used less, and this one will be darker, so we'll have less reflectivity, and we'll have more smooth result. Same there. Let's go for 1. Let's see the result, because it was too much reflective. Okay, now I'd like to have, okay, let's stop, and let's say that the reflectivity must be a little bit brighter, because you see we have some black area, so we can go lower with the contrast, and this map must be used with the tiling. So I know that it's not the best way to do it because we have no right texture there, but we have to do in this way. if you have a nice texture or you have time to work on the unwrapping of this model, you can do it. I'm trying to achieve a nice result with not so much efforts. Okay. I think that that's going not bad. That is nice. Right. So let's close there, and let's say that the bumping is active, and let's say that this one is obviously with the same tiling, but I have to recheck the tiling. It was 3 and 3, so back there 3 and 3, and we have 0, 2, and this one will be multiply or maybe an average. Okay, now the bumping is set to on. Let's see the result. But again, let's focus just on this area. Okay, it is not so heavy, so it can be nice. Okay, perfect. I like to make a test, let's say for this area there, and let's say that everything is ready. We set to OK. Let's select this camera, and we say that from the top specify focus, and we say that our focus is on the table. So we'll have a depth of field, and let's try to make a test. So we try to render. Okay, let's rescale the rendering. So we go for something like 650, and we remove the region there. Okay, let's render. Okay, let's select the camera. Let's double check that everything. Okay, let's say 150. Something went wrong. Maybe during the saving we lost part of the setting. Okay, let's try to change the F number. Let's go to 4. We have more light than before, but we start to see maybe a little bit of depth of field. You see, we have a little bit. Okay, so let's change again there the setting. Let's set 50. Okay, we have again a better lighting. Okay, so you see we have a little bit of depth of field on the back. Let's try to find a more interesting point of view. Let's say maybe something like that. let's remove the angle snap. Let's see, maybe something like that. Let's go again a little bit lower with the shutter speed. And I like to see this part. Okay, I like just to see a little bit less window and a little bit more room. Okay, something like that. Nice. Let's see the final image. Just a preview, obviously. This part to see if the amount of lighting is nice. Okay, so we have also the reflection there over the ground. Let's see this part too. And then we can go for the final render. In the next part, we'll work on more stuff on this side. So we have the possibility to render the scene from different point of view. Okay. We have to fix a little bit there. So let's work directly on this part. Okay, it should be better. So save, and we are ready. So for this part, that's all, and I hope to see you back on Max Cookie to check for new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye. Hi, my name is Alessandro Gangelosi, and that's a video tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for Max Cookie. Today we continue to work at the Photoreal interior with V-Ray scene, and today I'd like to add some more furniture there and continue adding more details to the room. So let's go in the top, and that's the space we have there, and I like to add a furniture down the window, so we can have maybe something like that about the space. So let's imagine I'm doing with a box just to have the proportion to understand if it is nice or not. So let's rotate the view. So we need something more little, I think, because you have to be able to access to the window. So let's imagine something like that, and yeah, it can be nice. So let's say 80 centimeters, let's say 75 centimeters. Okay, nice. So we can start modeling some stuff, and we can use simply some primitives. So let's go to have a sample box, and we'll do something similar to the previous one. Okay, this one will be the top plane. We'll use 0.25 for the fillet. Let's say that the height is 5 centimeters, maybe 6 centimeters. Let's say 2 meters and half, and 10 and 75 centimeters. Okay, we need the same at the bottom, so we make a copy using the shift. Okay, as an instance, then we can remove this one. Okay, we need the same boxes as we done there to close. So chamfer box, and we'll do something like that. Okay, so 0.25 there for the fillet, and we say that the height is again 5 centimeters. The width is, let's say, 75, and there 69. Okay, we can move it, and we have the first one there. And we have also the other one on this side, and using the shift key we can make another instance. Okay, so then we can have some stuff to divide this furniture, and we can use this one, for example. So let's make a clone as a copy, because we need to play with it, and we can move it. And let's say that this one is more little, so let's say maybe 3 centimeters. It stays in the middle, but obviously it will be more little. Okay, so then we can have let's say that there we have this one open, and there we have something to open it. So maybe we can move this one a little bit over, and we can make a copy of this one, edit clone as a copy, and we move it, and we can move it not in the middle to have something more interesting. So let's say maybe something like that. Nice. And then we have there maybe some boxes to open the furniture. So let's see from the front. Okay, and we can have, let's say that we select just those pieces, and we go in the isolation. So we have just the furniture, and we can fix some stuff. For example, this one must be a little bit bigger. Let's say 201, maybe 200, 0 and 5. Okay, nice. So then we can create again a chamfer box, and we use a chamfer box to have the closing there. Okay, the fillet is 0.25 as always, and this one can be aligned, but we can do it manually because the scene is really little. Okay, and then let's move it. So we have this one, and then I like to have also the second one, and to have the second one we can make just one piece, and then we can split it. So let's say that there we go for a box, so we can create a box starting from there and arriving to the other side, and we have to tweak a little bit the height maybe less. And talking sorry, about the 8 there, let's say that we have 2 centimeters in there. Sorry, we do the same. So let's align to the same 8 of this one, or the y-axis, and then we have to split it. So we can do a really simple thing. We can just use boxes, really little boxes like this one, and let's align to the center also over the x-axis, and we move it, and we pick this one, compound object, pro boolean, start picking. Okay, we can convert to editable poly, and this one is an element. Okay, so we say sorry, the touch, and close. So let's pick all the edges of this one, and we go for a chamfer, and let's say 0.25 and 2 edges, and close. Let's do the same for the other one. So chamfer 0.25 and 2 segments, and say yes. Okay, so then I like to adjust just the pivot for this one. Let's see from the other point of view if it's right. Okay, nice. And then we can create a really simple thing. Let's go for a boxes, like this one, and let's move it. Okay, so this one can be obviously something like that. So let's go for 1.5, and we can go for 15, and let's go for 4 centimeters, maybe 30 centimeters. Then let's convert to editable poly, and this one, and also this one. We go for an inset. Okay, and that faces can have an extrusion, but it is negative. Let's say something like that. Let's say yes, and then the edges, all the edges can have, maybe just not all. We go just for this one, this one, this one, this one, there, there. All the edges around the mesh. We have to select this one too, and the other there too. Let's go back to shadows phase and chamfer, but we go for something more little, let's say 0.15 with another segments, and say yes and close. Okay, nice. So let's move this one there, and from the front let's align just to the y-axis. Okay, and let's make a clone as an instance, and this one is linked to this one. Okay, so then we can rotate a little bit just to have it not closed, and then we can make a clone for this one too. So let's make a clone and put it there. Nice. So this stuff can have a glossy metal. So let's pick, for example, there. Let's rate and let's call it glossy metal. It will be a V-Ray material as always, and that's black and white there. There will be 12, but it will be high glossy, and then a little bit of anisotropy too. Perfect. So then that's the sofa. I like to find the wood we used before. So let's exit, rotate. Okay, and then let's say that we can remove this one and we pick the wood from this piece. So we can assign the same material. So let's select all the other piece and we give this one. Then to create something different, we can pick this metal and we can say that there we have maybe let's imagine some kind of white, let's say white furniture. We go for a V-Ray material, white color, and we go for freshener reflection, let's say 2.2. We have a little bit of reflection with a little bit of glossiness, and that's all. We have to see if it is nice or not. I like to find a camera, a useful camera. Let's use this one. Select the camera, and then select the target. Okay, save, and we can render a preview. Just to be sure, let's go for 900. Okay, and render. Stop and select just this area. I like to see if the reflection is right or not. We have still the depth of field, so let's remove it. Select camera, remove the depth of field and render again. Okay. I like to have more reflectivity, and a little bit less reflection glossiness. So let's go for 0.9 and an higher reflectivity, and we can open this one a little bit more. Okay, and render gain. Okay, now it is better. Perfect. Okay, I'm just checking the other stuff there, but I think it's nice. So it will be nice to have something over this furniture, but before we have to, okay, it is near the wall, and that's right. So we can, and let's put something inside this this furniture, and let's pick just some area with the isolation, and let's say that we have the extended primitives and we use the sample box. Let's imagine that we have some DVD boxes or maybe Blu-ray boxes. Obviously we have no texture for it, but you can create it as you need with no problem. So we have to scale it, and the standard measure is 13.5, and then we have there 1.5, and we have 19, and there the fillet we can do 0.1. Let's rotate by 90 degrees, and we can put it there. Okay, let's move it and let's check there. Okay, and okay, nice. So then let's create a series. We can assign a material. Let's go for, we can assign a standard black color. Let's use the same black we are using there, it's not important. And we can use a series, so let's go there, extras, and we can create an array. And preview, display as boxes. And in total we need a copy. Let's move it, and we have to cover there. Let's see if we have enough space, a little bit more, let's say until there, and let's have more copies. Okay, and let's go to check there. Okay, let's say instance, and then we can remove some copies. Then we can move this one there, and we can, using no angle snap, we can have this copy put like that. And then we can exit from there. Let's see again in the camera number 3 how it looks. Obviously, if you have some texture, please use it so you can have a really nice result. Okay, now we have something there inside this stuff. We can put the same thing we have there also on this one as a copy, we move it in the center. And this way we add some detail to this furniture too. Okay, nice. Let's see. So now we have the stuff too, and we can add more things. Then we can add a book or this table. So let's use a standard boxes. Let's zoom back and zoom there, and we use something like that. Okay, let's isolate in all viewport, and there we can use the perspective. Perfect. Now we can model from there. So we can start doing something really simple. So let's go to convert to poly, and let's select the spaces, and we go for an inset. Okay, and let's extrude using by local, and we can go for something like that. Then let's pick this face, and we can move it there. Perfect. So we have the basic shape of our book. Let's add a little bit of detail. So let's go for edges faces, and we can select some edges. We can select both, use the chamfer. Let's go for 0, 1 with 2 segments and say yes. Then let's use the polygon selection, and let's go to select this polygon, also this one and this one, or maybe just let's go for this one, or maybe not. Okay, let's use these polygons and this one, and let's tessellate. Now let's go also with the other pages. So we can use the tessellation there, or we can add directly a tessellate. Let's use quad, no tension. Okay, let's try this way, and poly select to close the selection, and then we can use a 3 FFD, or maybe we can use before. So select there, and let's move a little bit, so you see we have a control over the shape there, and we can do the same over the side of the book. Okay, perfect. And there we can say that we have also a material ID. And let's say that we have ID set to not, we need a different selection. So poly select polygon. Let's remove these polygons using the crossing. Okay, and we say that the ID with a material is 2, and then poly select polygon, select invert, and material set to 1, and then a poly select, and everything is closed. Let's go to create a new material. We can remove this one, and let's call it book. We go for multi sub-object. We go for 2 maps, and the second one is a V-Ray material, and that's white, as you see, and the first one is a V-Ray material, and that's the cover. Let's say maybe something like that. We have a texture, a free texture we downloaded from the web, and you find this texture. If you have more texture, you can create more books. Okay, let's scale it down, and let's say that we pick this part. So apply. Let's remove the edges faces, but let's select the book. Okay, let's rotate by 90 degrees, and let's go to have a UV map. So we should need to make some unwrapping, but we can do it also another way. If we like to do something really fast, we can go there with the polygons, select this one, and go for a planar map, and we can assign also another material to this one. So we can do something different. Let's say that this one has the planar map, but also the other one there. Okay, there we have planar map, and let's say that material ID is 1. Then we have another poly select, and we select the faces there. Okay, and we say that we have the material set to 3. And we have another UV map. We are talking about a planar, but we are talking about a map like this one, and then a poly select. Okay, so let's check there, and that's the first material. Let's remove the blurring, and there we pick just this part. Let's see the first mapping there. Okay, nice. It's not important the other part. Then let's set a similar material, set number 3. We make a clone, and this one use, first of all, this one must be okay. And let's say that this one has a different area, so we pick this part of the back. Okay, and it works fine. We can use the map number 2. And then we can play with this texture. So we go to 001 there, and I like to have a reflection, so let's make a copy. And there we need the color correction. keep all map. We need to saturate everything, and I think we can stay with something like that. So maybe, okay, something like that. Nice. So that's the reflection. We say that we have Fresnel reflection, but we are talking about metals, so let's go for 4. And then we have also there a map, and this one is more contrasted, but it's clear. So we have a little bit of glossy over some area and less glossy over the other area. And then we need the same map, and we can use it inside the bump. So paste, let's say 10. We can remove there, and let's go for 0.4. Okay, nice. So let's save. At this point we can do the same thing there, but we move. So let's make a copy, and then there we change to this part, and then we make clone map channel number 2. So let's copy, then we go there and paste, and there and paste, and the same there, paste, but we have to change to 0.5 and save. Then let's work at the other material. There we have a bitmap, we have the same, but we select just this area to make the pages. Okay, apply and make the stuff visible, and let's see if, okay, everything is working fine. Nice. So we have the pages, we can have a little bit of reflection. Let's use this map, and let's go to have a color correction. We go for no saturation, not so much reflectivity, and obviously a nice glossiness. And then we need the bumping, so let's use this one, copy and bump, paste, and we go for 0.5. Okay, exit from the isolation. Let's go in there, but we have to move the book. So let's go there, zoom, and it should be on the right plane. And let's try to render, but with a different area, so we have to stop it and render there, render. Okay, let's focus on this part. Okay, it works nice. I like to have maybe a little bit more bumping there, so let's go for 80. And then maybe I think I'd like to have a little bit more reflectivity there, so let's go for something like that, and let's change a little bit the parameter there, let's say 6, so we have more reflectivity. Let's do the same to the other. So in the reflection, let's go to have more clear, and in the material we go to have 6. Render again. So it's nice. So let's go there and let's say that we don't want to have the transparency. Okay, let's go in perspective and zoom there. Okay, so now it's in the right position. Let's go back to this point of view. Let's go back to this one and this one. Okay, let's make some preview. So let's make some preview to see how the room is looking. Let's move there. Okay, nice, and save. And we can do some preview there with the complete rendering. So let's render this one with the displacement. Let's see, it's a fast preview, so the quality is not the final one, but we have a nice looking to check the scene, and we see how it came from the 3 different cameras, and then we are ready to close this part of the tutorial. So you see that now the room starts to be better than before because we have more stuff inside the room. We can put some books also there to have more stuff. So let's do it because it can give a nice looking to the scene. We make a clone using the shift key. Okay, let's say as an instance, and we go to have it there. Let's rotate it, and we can put this one there. Let's make a clone, but this time as a copy, and let's zoom. Okay, let's rotate, and this time we assign a different material. So let's make a copy of this one, so we can remove this one, copy this one, and let's call it book number 2. And there in the color we can use a color corrector to have a different color. So keep all map, and let's change the hue, okay, to something like that. Let's see the value. We have -71. Let's go to do the same to the other part too. Let's close the extras, and there, color correction, keep all map, -71, and we can assign this material so we have a different color, and we can make another copy too. And just moved a little bit, and the second one will be maybe about a different color. So let's see what we can do if we play still a little bit. Let's go for 128. I made a mistake, sorry. So let's go back to the first one. Okay, let's make a copy, book number 3, and in the color correction there we say 140, 180, and do the same for the other texture. And we can assign it. Okay, so back to this camera. Maybe the spook is better to stay on the ground and move it. Let's go in a perspective. And we have to move it a little bit. Okay, back in the camera. Let's open the preview we were rendering. Let's do a render just for this area. And that's the result, so it's not bad. We can maybe put some books also there. So let's close and let's select both. So we select this one, and we make a clone there as a copy, and let's pick just these pieces and height and perspective, zoom. Okay, so we need to move this book there and there, but we can use just this one. So let's remove the first one and the second one and zoom. Okay, nice. Ctrl Z using the angle snap. We didn't use the angle snap before, so let's go for 90 and then 90. Okay, we have to rotate a little bit. Okay, then we have to scale it, put it on the ground and move it. They are too big. And move it. Let's say that we have something like that, and then let's make maybe 5 copies. Sorry. Obviously nothing is perfect, so we have to rotate a little bit the stuff. Let's rotate and put this one in this way. Okay, so using the material editor, we say that this one is with this texture, this one too, and this one is the red one, this one is green, this one is again the blue version, and this one is red, and this one is red. Nice. Let's go in the camera, back again, exit from the isolation, and from the rendering we can make another preview, but let's select this area and render. Okay, it works fine, so we can see from the other point of view too. So let's go in the camera number 2 and we can make the preview. Let's render it. So it is coming really nice, I think. Okay, perfect. And we can see for the last time also the other point of view, and I mean the camera number 3. Maybe we can adjust it a little bit. So let's select the camera and we can move it down. Okay, and let's select the camera target and we go to see something like that, maybe something like that. Okay, nice. Save and render a preview. So that's the rendering. Okay, so in the next part we work on the other furniture we have there and some chairs and the lamp for this part, and it will be ready to be rendered at the final quality, and maybe we can make some testing to make also the illumination for the night time. So for the moment that's all, and I hope to see you back on Max Cookie to check for new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.